Your cat is looking at you right now, or it was a moment ago. That slow, half-lidded stare from across the room. You probably thought it was boredom, maybe indifference, maybe you even joked that your cat barely tolerates your existence. You are wrong. That look is not casual, and it's not cold. It's the only way a solitary apex predator knows how to say, "I trust you." And the science behind it is so specific, so ancient, and so deliberate that when researchers finally decoded it, it changed everything we thought we knew about the most misunderstood animal on Earth. In 2020, Dr. Tasman Humphrey and Professor Karen McComb at the University of Sussex ran a controlled experiment. They asked owners to slow blink at their cats from across the room, narrowing their eyes, closing them slowly, opening them again. The cats slow blinked back at a statistically significant rate compared to a no interaction control. When strangers repeated the experiment, the cats still blinked back and were more likely to approach afterward. The researchers concluded that the slow blink functions as a positive emotional signal between cats and humans, a deliberate, voluntary communication of trust. Not a reflex, not sleepiness, a message sent across the room from a species that spent 50 million years evolving to trust absolutely nothing. If you've ever looked at your cat and wondered whether there was actually something behind those eyes, subscribe right now, because science just proved there is, and it goes much deeper than a blink. Welcome back to Happy Tales. Let's start with the lie you've been told your entire life. Cats do not care about their owners. They are independent. They are cold. They would eat you if you died. In 2019, Dr. Kristen Vital and her team at Oregon State University ran the definitive experiment. They adapted the Ainsworth strain situation test, the same protocol designed in the 1960s to measure attachment between human infants and their mothers. 70 cats, a room with their owner, the owner leaves, the owner returns, cameras record every behavior. 64% of cats showed what psychologists classify as a secure attachment style. When their owner returned, they greeted them and resumed calm exploration, the exact behavioral signature of a securely bonded human infant. Insecurely attached cats showed stress behaviors, clinging, avoidance, ambivalence. The proportions were nearly identical to those found in human children and dogs. The researchers stated it directly. Cats form attachment bonds with their caregivers that are functionally indistinguishable from the bonds formed by dogs and human infants. The myth that cats do not bond is not a simplification. It's scientifically wrong. But here's the part that makes this extraordinary. Dogs were designed to bond. They were selectively bred for it across 15,000 years of domestication. Every generation, the friendliest wolves survived and reproduced. Bonding was engineered into them. Cats were never selected for this. The domestic cat descends from Felis silvestris libicia, the Near Eastern wildcat, a solitary ambush predator. No packs, no herds, no social hierarchy. 50 million years of trusting nothing and needing no one. Domestication began roughly 10,000 years ago, and it was not humans who initiated it. Cats walked into early agricultural settlements on their own, hunting rodents attracted to stored grain. Nobody chose anybody. And yet, somewhere inside that arrangement, the solitary predator started doing something its ancestors never did. It started forming bonds with another species. Not because it was bred to, not because it was forced to, because it chose to. Scientists studying feline domestication now refer to this as the solitary override. The moment a species engineered for total independence began voluntarily rewriting its own behavioral code. When a dog loves you, it's fulfilling a biological program that was written for it. When a cat loves you, it's running the solitary override, violating 50 million years of programming for you. Coming up, the predator hardware that makes your cat one of the most lethal organisms on the planet, the vibration they produce that can heal broken bones, and the one thing your cat does when you're asleep that no one can fully explain. Your cat weighs 10 pounds. It purrs on your lap. It plays with a piece of yarn. And it is one of the most efficient killing machines in evolutionary history. In 2013, a study in Nature Communications by Dr. Scott Loss and Dr. Peter Mara at the Smithsonian Conservation Biology Institute estimated that free-ranging domestic cats in the United States alone kill between 1.3 and 4 billion birds and between 6.3 and 22.3 billion mammals every year. Not cars, not pesticides, not habitat loss. Cats are the single greatest source of anthropogenic mortality for birds and small mammals in the country. Their hunting success rate is staggering. Studies tracking feral cats with GPS and cameras have documented kill success rates between 60 and 70% per hunt. For context, a lion succeeds roughly 25% of the time, a wolf pack about 14%. Your house cat, pound for pound, is a more successful predator than any apex carnivore on the African savanna. The hardware that makes this possible is absurd. A tapetum lucidum that reflects light through the retina twice, giving them the vision in 1/6 the light a human needs. Ears that rotate independently 180 degrees, detecting frequencies 3 times your upper limit, whiskers calibrated to detect air pressure changes in total darkness, and a skeletal system with no collarbone, allowing the body to compress through any gap wider than its skull. That's not a pet pretending to be dangerous. This is a precision-engineered ambush predator that has agreed temporarily to live in your apartment. And this perfect killing machine does something that makes no evolutionary sense at all. It vibrates. That purr is not just contentment. Dr. Elizabeth von Muckenthaler at the Fauna Communications Research Institute measured purring frequencies across 44 feline species. The dominant range clusters between 25 and 50 hertz, the exact frequencies documented in biomedical research to promote bone density, reduce pain, and accelerate tissue healing. Cats suffer far fewer bone complications after fractures than dogs. The leading hypothesis is that the purr serves as a low-energy biological maintenance mechanism, a healing frequency generated internally. But here's the detail that stops you cold. Cats purr when they're happy. They also purr when they're injured, when they're frightened, when they're dying. The purr is not an expression of joy, it's a survival tool that runs whether the animal wants it to or not. And when your cat climbs onto your chest at night and purrs against your ribs, they may be running that healing frequency through your body as well. They have no reason to, it serves no survival purpose, and they do it anyway. Your cat falls asleep beside you, and then something happens that researchers have documented but cannot fully explain. Cats in multi-pet households consistently choose to sleep closest to one specific human. Not the one that feeds them, not the one with the warmest room. Dr. Vital's attachment research suggests it's the primary attachment figure. During sleep, cats position their body in specific orientations, back turned toward the human, facing outward. The same protective posture documented in wild felids guarding the den. A solitary predator built to sleep alone, built to trust nothing, positioning its body to protect you during the most vulnerable hours of the day. And they've been doing this for 10,000 years, without anyone asking them to. Without a single generation of selective breeding designed to make them loyal. Every ancestor of your cat chose solitude. Every ancestor chose independence. And your cat looked at all of that programming, all of that ancient code telling it to need nothing and no one, and it chose you. That slow blink was not an accident. It was an invention, a solitary species with no evolutionary reason to communicate affection, building a signal from nothing, just to tell you, across the room, in the only language it knows, that you are safe, that it trusts you. The solitary override running one more time. So tonight, when your cat looks at you from across the room, slow blink back. Hold it, because that's not indifference staring at you from the top of the bookshelf. That's a predator who rewrote its own code across 10,000 years for a single reason. You. Which of these facts changed how you see your cat? Tell us in the comments. This has been Happy Tales. If you want to discover more secrets about the animal on your couch, watch this video next. See you there.